So one of the staple meals that I have in my diet right now, and I also incorporate with a lot of clients, is what I call my version of the overnight oats. So one of the best things about this is how practical and easy it is to make. Start out by measuring your oat portion, followed by adding a liquid yogurt, or as some people call it, kefir. I like this one because it really is more liquid and it allows to mix the whole concoction a little bit better. Now all you have to do is literally mix it, cover it, and leave it on the counter overnight. The next morning is when you will add some blueberries. I particularly like the frozen ones, and your portion of protein. And I particularly like the Lineage Provisions AB Complete because it has a mix of not just whey protein, but a combination of different dried organ meats that add to the mineral content of the meal itself. And that completes our overnight oats.
So I want to talk a little bit about made meals and why this was the right choice for our family. As you know, meal prepping and staying on track with your plan and your macros, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Working full time, having a toddler, being a busy mom, I needed to find a solution, right? We only have so many hours in a day. I did a lot of research about a lot of the meal companies out there. One thing that's important to me as a mom is not only, getting our food in, hitting those macros, but nutrition as well. I'm always mindful of the food that I want to give my daughter and of course us as well. And the reason why Made Meals was a clear winner, not only do they offer so many different types of meals, whether it's by the pound, which is what we do, or tailored custom meals, but the quality of their food, where they source their food, everything is local, everything is organic, grass-fed, no seed oils. Again, really important for me as a mom, and the nutrition that my daughter's getting on a daily basis, this was by far a clear winner. One of the owners, Jesse, who's also a parent, had a conversation with him, and just based upon all our goals as parents, as being in the fitness industry and taking care of our kids, it's just been a fantastic solution to save time. You don't have to think at the end of a busy day. You're getting quality nutrition and hitting your goals as well. So we're so happy with it. It saved us time. It saves us, having to think after a busy day, and it tastes great. Highly recommend it. Check it out. It's good for the whole family.
So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the perfect cream of rice. All right, so the first thing that I do is, depending on the portion, I will measure out the water. And typically for every cup, I use about 8 ounces of water. Afterwards, I will measure out the cream of rice. In this case, I'm making a portion for my wife, and she is doing 40 grams. So I actually like to measure that out and not just do the scoop itself. And today we are using the coconut cream pie flavor. Now, before I actually start cooking everything, I like to just measure and prepare everything out. And some of that includes the banana and almond butter. For banana, I used to use, your regular fresh banana. However, I've come across this organic sliced banana frozen option at Whole Foods, and it works out really well because that way I don't have to worry about freshness, and I can portion this perfectly without having to worry about also not having anything extra left over. Okay, the banana is measured out. Then is the almond butter. This is also the particular brand and type that I use. So in this case, we're gonna scoop out 20 grams.
What happens to the almond butter when it's stuck in the spoon?
It doesn't, you'll see why. And lastly, I measure out the egg whites. I always add a portion of salt to the meal. In this case, it is a 1/8 teaspoon of Redmond real salt. This is my favorite salt, not only because it tastes good, but it has a really high concentration of minerals. Again, micronutrients are important too. So the trick here is to use one of these little tools. And once the water boils, you want to lower the heat and just start shifting. Now, if you make this in the microwave, it's a little trickier because you want to find the right amount of time to put it in. Let's call it 30 seconds or 45 seconds. And then you take it out, stir, put back in, 30, 45 seconds, take it out, stir. Otherwise it gets way too clumpy and it's not going to really be fun to eat. It's getting thicker and thicker. The cream of rice is soaking up the water. Essentially that's what's happening here. And you want to get to a point where it's solid enough where you could actually like scoop it off the edges. And that's the point where then you add in the egg whites. So now typically when you add in the egg whites, you want to go a little bit at a time, continue stirring a little bit more, continue stirring. Otherwise, like if you're dumping in all the egg whites all at once, it's just going to be like one soupy mess that you have to like wait until it thickens. So in this case, again, like I said, I'm making this for my wife. The portion's a lot less. The amount of egg whites isn't all that much, so I'm going to put it all in at once. But depending on your portion, add in a little bit at a time and stir until it gets into like a nice consistency that isn't too liquidy or too hard either. The way you could pull it off to the side like this, once it's really done, that's how you know that it's the perfect consistency. Last but not least, I like to add a little bit of cinnamon, and like anything else that I do with precision, I like to also measure this out to 1/8 teaspoon. And that's how you make your perfect cream of rice. All right, so we made the cream of rice, we made the overnight oats. Now, I'm gonna run through how I particularly like to portion out my main meals, you know, my chicken, my beef, and there's certain particular things that I use that make it a lot easier to do on a day-to-day basis and a lot more efficient. So we have the rice here, it's already made in the rice cooker, super easy, you put it in, turn it on, it does by itself. I have my made meals here, my chicken and my beef. And what about veggies? For veggies, I used to make those too. I got to the point where like it just wasn't conducive to my day-to-day, and what I figured I could do instead is use frozen veggies. So I have found at Whole Foods, again, chopped spinach, cut green beans, and this is what I add in. They thaw overnight, and the next day you heat it up and you're good to go. So this is how particular I am. And listen, when you're doing this to this level, like the more organization you have, the more particulars you incorporate your routine, the easier it makes. So I like to color code my Pyrex. So the blue is for a lean protein and the red is for a fatty protein like a beef or a fish, like a salmon if I'm using that. And it's just easier to coordinate, and you know, when I'm on the go or if I'm at work and I have to rush back and grab a meal to eat in between clients, I know which one it is, I do it quickly, and again, efficiency is king. That's what's gonna make everything work a lot better, and when you're doing this for a long time, that's what's gonna keep you next level in the game. I always put the rice at the bottom, the veggies in the middle, and the meat on top. it also mixes better that way.
Now, question: do you eat your veggies first, or do you mix it all?
I mix it all in. So doing it in this way is something that will allow for you to do it in a more timely manner. And what I mean by that is instead of taking hours and hours on a Sunday to cook all these things and have like 30 Tupperwares out and not have room in the fridge to, you know, store them, I feel like that's kind of an old school and antiquated way of doing it. And it's not efficient at all. It takes a lot of time. And by the end of the week, it doesn't even really taste that good. So I like to prep my meals out the night before for the next day. And doing it this way is very quick and very efficient. And it also allows for it to taste pretty good the next day because it's fresh. So these come vacuum sealed, which is actually really good. It keeps the freshness, and you know, when you open it, I always use these within a day or two, so I'm not worried about it lasting. But all the other ones that I have for the rest of the week do last and hold very well because of the fact that they are vacuum sealed. Now this chicken that Made Meals makes is so juicy and not dry at all. As you can see, I could pretty much shred it, and it really tastes good. Like I said, it holds well, and it's been working out phenomenally. So depending on your macronutrient content of your diet, one of the things that I've learned to incorporate now is dried fruit. So once your carb intake is at a certain level, or even if it's not, if you want to mix things up and add something with a little bit more fiber, things like dates, and in my case in particular, dried pineapple has been very lucrative in adding these kind of contents to it, and it makes it taste a lot better too. Now again, depending on what your diet is, one of the other things that I've been incorporating is, instead of fresh avocado, I've been doing this particular frozen avocado. It is ripe and fresh when it thaws out, and it's certainly a lot more convenient when it comes to this particular food. I highly, highly recommend it.
No one ever said you can't eat breakfast.
No. Lastly, my quote-unquote breakfast-ish meal, and I say that because I actually eat it as my last meal, so it's more so in the late afternoon, comprises of eggs, which now I boil. That again was a game changer in how efficient and timely it was to prep that meal, again on the go versus doing it ahead of time. Which you can with boiled eggs. That's something that you could certainly boil a bunch for, let's say, a couple days at a time, and then use them up as you go. But you know, in my case, I still really love to taste that fresh boiled egg. That's still a little bit warm. I know you know what I'm talking about. So I do that. I add in a little bit of cheese. When it comes to the cheese, this is the particular one that I like. I like raw cheese. There's a lot of good digestive enzymes that come out of raw milk, and that's why I like to incorporate this. And lastly, I use a sort of homemade style sourdough bread. I like this one because the slices are even and I know how to account for them. So as you could imagine, I am very particular about the eggs that I eat too. I will either get these restorative pasture-raised organic eggs from Vital Farms. This can be found in Whole Foods. The reason why I like these is because you know, having learned a lot about agriculture and just food production in general, when animals are raised in a regenerative setting, that's going to transfer into the nutrient content and density of the food itself. However, what would make something even better is if the nutrients that those animals are fed, which in this case would not comprise of corn and soy, is what this is. And these are from an Amish farm that we get delivered weekly, and these are raised without any corn and soy, and the nutrient content is that much more healthy in the sense that there won't be much linoleic acid in the egg itself, which then transfers to like a lot of inflammatory issues that may ensue if you do eat a lot of linoleic acid, which is something that's in seed oils, for example. Okay, so that's why we avoid that. But anyhow, these eggs are phenomenal. They come in like unmarked in like a regular carton because they just come directly from an Amish farm. Yeah, that's basically all the meals that I eat throughout the day on a week-to-week basis. The portions may vary here and there, but it's really the consistency of it that keeps everything intact. My body responding, being fueled in the gym, and just staying healthy overall.